social media is supposed to be used to connect people. But in fact, what we're seeing is that it often creates a disconnect from people. And I say that both as someone who uses my phone a lot and who's someone who experiences that disconnection. I always tell my clients and my couples, when I'm seeing a couple, we fall in love through our eyes, right? We make connections through our eyes. So if you're not looking at someone, if you're looking at your phone, then you're missing that connection.
Up in the north, for instance, before they had the big satellite dishes, they didn't have any window into the rest of the world. And the people, though very poor, were reportedly quite happy. They had the relationships, the love of the people. They could play with very simple things, but it was enough. When TV got introduced and they looked through the screen into Hollywood and into rich palaces and all kinds of toys and all that kind of stuff, suddenly what they had wasn't enough.
I think particularly when we talk about social media, it's so curated. And particularly for teenagers. So, they live in this high school world where they can't fathom a life outside of that. And it's all comparison. And a lot of it is just looking at what other people have and what I don't have.
I had a couple of teenage clients last year, young girls, and I found that with them, I had to essentially completely change their social media diet. So they were following all these influencers who have perfect bodies, or the perfect filter, the perfect lighting. They just look perfect, right? And so these young girls see these images and they aspire to be like them.
That's kind of the system that we're in. That's how you market. You show that the thing you have is not enough. You need to have what we're selling.
And so they're going through crazy diets, they have eating disorders, they're starving themselves essentially. And so when I see a client like that who has issues with their image or their self-worth or self-esteem, often I'll say, can you open up your Instagram account and show me what you're looking at? And you'll see all these beautiful, perfect women. And I'm like, all right, so we're gonna change. We're gonna unfollow those people and we're gonna follow more positive people.
It's on your phone with a constant stream of updates, depends who you sign up with. And you're constantly comparing. And I think in therapy, we always try to guide people to improve themselves from who they are, not who someone else is. So, be better than your yesterday you. Don't try to see if you're good enough today based on, the perfect ideal you.
It's also a place where they have the freedom to post maybe really intimate things that they don't think they can actually share with anyone face to face. And so I feel that social media is kind of disconnecting our kids to real human relationships. And I fundamentally believe that relational wounds need to be healed in relationship. And I think social media is kind of taking them out of healing these wounds in relationship, and kind of a false, now so many people know what my problem is.
I will say that it can be used in positive ways. There's always two sides to the story. So I personally like to use my phone a lot to take pictures of my food. It's just something I like to do. It's fun. I'm a foodie, but you can't take it too seriously. And I think when people start to make it their whole identity and make it their whole life, that's when it gets to be too much. You need to be able to disconnect from that.
I think it would be short-sighted to blame it on social media. I think human nature in general uses social media as a tool in some way. I think that that medium of becoming popular, it's not necessarily, it's just a new medium of becoming popular, but that popularity at a young age, all that attention at a young age, all the pressure.
Anybody can look good with the right kind of angle. Something that to kind of make you look good for a small clip, for a short vid.